loyalty. So where
Yes.
do consumers have loyalty to what brands? Experian puts out a quarterly report on brand loyalty. Our consumers, essentially what we're going to look at here in a second is what percentage of owners of a particular brand vehicle, their next purchase was that same brand, or if it wasn't, then they're not counted.
Yes.
And so what's interesting here is we just saw all these vehicles that depreciate like rocks, like the BMW.
Yes.
Let's see how that impacts, like from a customer perspective, how they feel about loyalty to that brand, especially amidst some of the cheaper players in the space, like the Genesises of the world coming up.
And I haven't looked, but I would say that a brand like BMW, where probably 60 to 65% of the sales are actually leases, that would encourage a little more brand loyalty, because you're only going to be in the vehicle for 3 years and you have to return it. And so the dealership has a better shot of putting you into another BMW.
So I actually want to do something kind of fun here, Pops. I know you haven't looked at it. I just put the link to the article in the chat, but I want to ask the chat this as well. So to give some context here, the highest loyalty is Ferrari, 71.4% in the current year. So we'll touch on that in a moment. But 71.4% of Ferrari owners bought another Ferrari. Great. Where do you think BMW falls in this list? And I'll give you lowest just so that we can start there as well.
Okay.
The lowest would be Fiat. Fiat ended the year with a 7.2% brand loyalty. Okay, so 7.2% of Fiat owners bought another Fiat.
Which begs the question is, what's wrong with those 7.2% of those people that would do it again?
Hey, so where do you think BMW lands in that? Are they closer to the 7.2 or are they closer to the 70?
I'm just going to guess, but I'm going to guess, because of all the leases they do, that they're probably going to come in somewhere between 55 and 65% of their customers would be brand loyal.
I mean, I'm just going to preempt you and give you quickly like a...
Yeah, buddy.
You're really good. He's really, really good. I haven't seen anything in the chat yet, so let me pull it up on the screen, Dad. I'm very impressed. And you didn't look at the article?
I have not.
All right, Pop. So here it is. We got back on the site. Automakers with the most and least loyal customers. We've got the brands with the most loyal customers, least loyal customers. Which brands gained the most loyalty in 2021, lost the most loyalty in 2021. And then we have all the data for, I think we've got like 38 or 39 different manufacturers here.
Wow.
And let me zoom in for you. Ferrari, their current year loyalty rate, 71.4%. They're the highest on the list. Hyundai, 66.8%. Honda, 66.4%. Kia, 66%. Toyota, 65.6%. Subaru, 65%, which is down pretty significantly from where it was last year. We'll touch on that in a moment. And there you go. BMW, 64.1%. Good thing you said your range, 55 to 65. You hit it up. You hit the nail on the head. Well done.
Well, and literally, it's only because they lease so many of their cars. I don't think people that buy them and then have the unfortunate experience of owning it once the free maintenance has expired and the warranty has expired, and then they have to start spending oodles and oodles of noodles to keep it running. Those people, I don't think.
Show me the money. Show me the money.
But the people that lease them and only keep it for 3 years, well, they haven't had typically any real negative experiences with the vehicle. So why wouldn't they say to themselves, let's do this again? And that's why leasing is so important in the luxury segment. If you're a luxury brand and you're not leasing the vast majority of the vehicles that you're selling, you're not going to have the loyalty that you would hope to have.
Let's keep moving here. So then we've got Ford at 62.1%, down 11%. We're going to talk about that in a minute here. Ram at 61.9%, wrapping up your top 10. Chevy at 61.8%.
I want to look at that Subaru number. I mean, last year they were at 73%, which is huge. And I would think that one of the reasons they've had such a precipitous drop this year is, as we've seen, their day supply of cars nationally has been running somewhere between 5 and 8 days for the last several months. So if you don't have an additional car, another car that you can sell to your previous customer, it means you're going to force that customer to go to a different brand. And realistically, Subaru gets it. It's cheaper to keep your existing customers than it is to replace them. And they've always done a really good job with keeping them. But this chip shortage is just killing them.
Absolutely, and that's what I put here in the article. Pops is link right out to the supply for the month of October, and yeah, Subaru's only got 8,100 cars out in inventory right now. So that's my theory as well. I don't think that's quite the case for our bottom 10. I don't think that's why Fiat has a 7% loyalty rate. So Fiat is your number one least loyal brand from a
Yes.
perspective. You have Chrysler at 24.4%, Dodge at 27.5%.
Imagine where Dodge would be if they didn't have the Challenger and the Charger.
I mean, they wouldn't be in business. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like if
Yeah.
they like, there's a fanatic, kind of like cult-like following to those vehicles.
Yes.
What else? Nothing.
No.
Jaguar, 29%. Lamborghini, Dad, we're going to spend some time on the next chart talking about brands that gained the most and lost the most loyalty. Down 21.2%. I have a theory about that. Infiniti at 40.3%. Your brand, Mini, 40.4%. Alfa Romeo at 42.2%. Rolls-Royce at 42.7%. And Land Rover at 44.4%. Any surprises here, Pops?
I wonder where Bentley falls in there. As
The
opposed
surprise is, why is Fiat still in business? That's a surprise.
It's not really a surprise. The reason Fiat is still in business is for the government regulations for corporate gas mileage, and the Fiats get better gas mileage, and that's why Stellantis, the lost automotive continent of Stellantis, keeps importing Fiats to help raise the corporate mile per gallon ratings. That's the only reason.
Brands
Not
that
because they sell them.
brands that gain the most loyalty. Aston Martin was up
Wow.
17.6% year over year, up to 57.6%. Genesis up 13% to 49.1. Mitsubishi up 10.5 points to 47.3. Buick up 5.7 up to 56.9. And we had Ferrari with a 4.7% year over year gain up to 71.4. My hunch with Aston Martin, Dad, is they launched the DBX, their SUV.
Yes.
They're getting a lot of people to convert and come to the brand and stick with the brand because they now have an SUV offering.
So what's your rationale for why Lamborghini lost so many people?
I love it when you team me up like that. So which brand lost the most loyalty in 2021? Lamborghini's loyalty dropped 21.2% down to 37.8. Lincoln 12.2% to 55.2. Mercedes-Benz 11.8% to 57%. Ford's dropped 11 points down to 62.1, and Subaru dropped 8.2 points down to 65%. So here's my hunch, Pops. I think Lamborghini likely lost a lot of loyalty because they probably brought in a considerable number of new buyers when they launched their Urus, the SUV.
Mm-hmm.
And then those same buyers that bought a Urus are now going and buying other cars. I think that unlike or similarly to how Ferrari has just such mind share within the consumer, like you buy a sports car, then your next sports car, why wouldn't I buy another Ferrari? I think if someone bought a Huracan, or if they bought an Aventador, they would buy another Huracan or another Aventador. But now that they're getting into the SUV space, it's a little more utility. And so maybe I'll go check out the Aston Martin DBX. Maybe I'll go check out the Mercedes Maybach, whatever they create. And so I think that's why we saw such a precipitous decline. That is not my hunch for why we saw Lincoln and Ford drop as much as we did. Those are quality control issues. That's
and have been for years. Yes.
So there you go. All that data we have back on the website. We have all the other OEMs there as well. But it's pretty interesting to see in this landscape who's retaining their customers and who isn't. And it kind of, on the surface, makes sense.
Absolutely. I agree.